ever pulled into the parking lot on a Monday and you're like, oh my God, please don't let me meet this person? Or, oh my goodness, I'm dreading Monday because I'm going to meet this coworker. Or have you ever had a very difficult coworker? If the answer is yes, then today's conversation is for you because today we are going to talk about how to handle difficult people or like difficult co-workers because believe it or not, you are going to encounter people that you have to work with that are difficult. Maybe they are micromanagers, maybe they are always moody, maybe you can never do enough to be good, maybe they are too competitive, but you have to work with them. What do you do and how do you navigate that situation? So grab your pen and your pencil and your paper. And if you are new to our channel, welcome, welcome, welcome. You can put in the comment where you are joining from, and let's have a very interactive conversation. Today I'm here, as always, not by myself. I'm here with my husband, who is a pastor, and together we are tackling everyday conversations that or everyday challenges, whether it is in marriage or relationship or just life in general, like questions about life or how to navigate the different seasons of life. So welcome to our channel, and if you haven't already done so, please be sure to hit the subscription button and then share our videos with anybody that can benefit. Thank you. Hello, wonderful husband.
Yeah, so
Today, have you ever had a difficult coworker that you've worked with?
I've had difficult co-workers that I've worked with before. In life, you're definitely going to meet people from so many different areas in life. So we work with so many different people, and there are a lot of people that we work with. So definitely, in one in our life, we may have seen someone who is difficult to work with.
Mm-hmm.
And nobody is perfect, so definitely you're going to meet these people as well
Yeah.
who are difficult to work with.
Or even sometimes some family members are difficult. Welcome, Didi. If you're joining us, just let us know where you're joining from. But yeah, some family members can be difficult.
Yes.
Friends can be difficult.
Mhm.
Just people are complex.
Yeah, so definitely there are difficult people who
Yeah.
you're going to meet in your life.
Okay. So if you are faced with any difficult person, what makes them difficult? Maybe they are always moody. I kind of find like when you're working with people, I don't know if you have met those kinds of people, like they are always moody. You don't know when they are having a good day or a bad day.
Mhm.
So because they are always moody, you don't know whether they have a problem with you or it's just how they are. So I find people who are always moody um difficult. It's just difficult to connect.
That's that's something. If someone is always moody and they are not happy and they don't want to work with you, to me, one of the things that I've come to know is that I don't use people as my yardstick.
Hmm.
People are people.
Yeah,
So sometimes you don't know what someone is going through.
true.
So you can become that person that is like also judgmental
Mm,
if because you may think you are good, but you're also not good.
yeah.
So always don't let the person become your yardstick.
No,
People
no,
have
I
their
don't
own
think they are
thing.
necessarily the yardstick necessarily, but maybe because you are working with them, maybe they are competitive.
Hmm.
And so every time you present a project, they'll be like, oh, like something you're so proud of, like in the context of work, like you've done a project, like you're so proud of the work you've done, and then they look at it, they're like, oh yeah, but that didn't we already do that, or like they try to
The
belittle
little what you've
something
done,
that, so that kind of a person can
of
be very
of
difficult,
course,
right? you
yes.
you meet those kinds of people, and then you meet those other kinds of people who like they are always gossiping about somebody in the office, like
Hmm.
they will come to you and then they will say something, they will come to you and then they will say something, and
The
then
busybody
the
people,
busybody
yeah, they
people,
are
they are
there.
also difficult people to work with because you want to mind your own business, but they are always bringing some people's other people's business.
Hmm.
And then there are those people also who are just micromanagers. it's like you are never enough. Like it's like, oh, why didn't you dot this I? Why didn't you cross this T? Like it's like everything you do, there is something. They must find something wrong with that.
Mhm.
And all of these people are people that you can meet in everyday life, and when they happen to be at your workplace, if they are your neighbor, you can choose to mind them or like ignore them. But then if like they are your co-workers and like you are always in their face, that's tough.
Yeah, that is very true. I have met someone who was always kind of he was always looking at what you're doing,
Mm-hmm.
and he always wants he has an expectation for you, but he himself doesn't have expectation for himself.
Mm.
Right? Those people, everything you do, they talk about it. Everything that you do, it doesn't matter. You can even be pulling your weight, if you're doing your best, they still will not appreciate it.
Mm-hmm.
So we have those people, and if you happen to be working with someone, some of them are not managers; they are just your co-workers,
Yes.
and they live like they are your managers,
Mm-hmm.
right? Who are managing you, and
So like for
so
that person who
mhm.
was like that, how did you navigate that?
I mean, such a person, that person, how I navigated it was that I did not let what the person was doing get into me,
Mm.
because one, I know who I am, I know
Okay, so
what I
knowing
do,
who you are, okay.
I know what I do, I know my work.
Mm-hmm.
And so if a person is behaving that way,
Mm-hmm.
I just have to focus on my work
Mm.
and do my work,
Mm-hmm.
because you have 8 hours. One of my
Mm-hmm.
co-workers also had this concept that she always said. She said that, "Hey Ford, I have 8 hours in this office.
Mm-hmm.
If I come to the office, I focus on my 8 hours, the work
Mm.
that I have to do for this 8 hours,
Yeah.
and then I have to do that. I
Yeah.
don't have to let anybody just move me to do things that is not within my designated work, right? My job description within that 8 hours."
You
And
mentioned a point that was very
mhm,
important. You said that the way that you navigated a coworker who, let's say, is always looking down on your work is one knowing who you are.
mhm,
And I think it's very important. How that is a solution is because when you have somebody who is always trying to put you down and trying to be like, oh, you're not smart enough, but you know deep inside of you, you know who you are. If like you're very secure in
mhm.
who you are, then other people's opinion, yeah, they matter, but then it doesn't get too much in you because you know exactly who you are. And when people judge you, they only know you for just 8 hours out of the 24 hours that God has given
Yeah.
us. You don't make their judgment or their point something that gets to you. So I like the fact that you brought knowing who you are, because I
Yeah,
can see that's how one of the solution.
that's true. Yeah. And people define you by what they think
Mm.
you are,
Mm.
right? So that is what makes them now begin to look down on you. So, one, everything that you do, they don't appreciate it because they think you're not fit to do what you have been assigned to do,
Mm.
right? Okay, well, he's not smart enough. She's
Mm.
not smart
Mm.
enough. He's not good. He's this, and that is how. That's the notion they have about you, right?
Right.
Right from the beginning, they think that you're not good, right? I remember I work with this person, and the person started behaving some way,
Mm.
and I was like, man, why is this person behaving this way?
Mm.
To an extent that the person now was behaving more like instead of him. I have this work. One day, the person said that if I give you this work to do, you become more experienced. So
Wow.
I will not give you the work to
In
do.
other words, the person wants to
He,
sabotage your
yeah, he's
progress.
like, no,
Mm.
if I give you to do, you gain more experience, and with
Wow.
your experience, you're going to excel. And this person said this to me in
Wow.
my face
Mm.
here in America, right? Where people don't have to do that, but
Mm.
this person did it.
That's
And
hard.
he was a supervisor over me.
Wow.
Right. So
I think that also makes it very complex. If it's like a power dynamic, your supervisor is over you, and so if the
yeah.
supervisor is intentionally trying to sabotage you, like I'm not going to give you this project. I know giving you this project will give you exposure,
It will give
but
you
I don't want
exposure.
you to be exposed, like to do
Yes.
well.
Yeah.
That's tough.
Yeah. It was tough. And so when it comes to things that we are
How did
supposed
you
to
how
deal
did
with,
you how did you feel?
I mean, so one of the things that I started doing is that, one of the things about me is that I motivate myself.
Mm,
I have that self motivation thing.
mm,
So if you don't want to give me something to do, one, either I will have to bring someone who is higher than you into the conversation, or I'll find myself another area that I can grow,
mm.
which that is one thing that I started to do.
Okay.
So if you don't want me to do this, it's a big company, there are a lot of different areas. So I have to navigate my way to how I can grow.
Mm,
And it is common in the corporate world. In the
mm,
corporate world, if someone don't like you or they don't want to, every that kind of thing is there. So you have to find a way to navigate it. Sometimes it's an HR issue, you can report it. If it is becoming unbecoming, you can report it, because whoever is a manager over you also has a manager over them.
yeah.
So if you see that someone is actually doing some things, behavior that is not good,
Mm-hmm.
you have to bring the person to book,
Mm,
right? Sometimes it is necessary to do that
yeah.
so that they don't do it to another person,
Mm-hmm.
right?
But
So
in your case, you didn't. You
in
didn't.
my case, I did not really do that.
So, but you focused on something else to do.
I focus on what I have to do.
Mm,
So
mm,
I kind of, because I have certifications to write, that is one. I have to learn as well.
mm-hmm.
I have to learn as well. And then I have to build network and other stuff. So as I'm doing those things, I had labs that I
Mm-hmm.
have to build. So I'll do other things. If you don't want me, I go to another person and then seek for work with them. That's it.
See, what you just said is very important because, sometimes when we find ourselves in situations like that, we just focus only on the problem, right? Like all you're doing is focusing on the problem. And if you keep focusing on the problem, you're not able to explore other areas. So in
Mm-hmm.
your case, you have a supervisor who comes to you and say, "Listen, there's this cool project that I know it would give you a lot of experience and exposure, but I don't like you that much, so I'm not going to let you have that project." You're like, "Okay, I'm not going to report this to HR. I'm going to focus on different ways of developing myself." I think that is even so empowering because you're like, you are not the owner of my destiny.
Mm-hmm.
Like you're not the owner of my destiny. So I will focus on other areas. And I really like that you shared. I'm sure this is helping someone. Listen, if you are joining us for the first time, welcome. We are talking about how to navigate difficult co-workers. And so yeah, if you have questions, go ahead and put it in the chat or comment, or even if you have yourself experienced a difficult co-workers, let us know how you navigated that.
Yeah. So that is one way of doing it. You are able to, because it's 8 hours,
That is
right?
true.
8 hours. And I was there was a time that I also want to share this. I was a time that I was working with this another person.
Mm-hmm.
And as I was working with this person was always, I was not in the same. So we had different, within the same department, we had different units.
Hmm.
Right. So what I did, it was different from what everybody else was doing.
Mm-hmm.
Right. But I was the only person that was like a standalone person, and the other people had their own thing that they were doing. But there's this guy who doesn't know my work and he doesn't do my work, but always was looking into what I was doing.
Oh my God.
And then he would just go and say all kinds of things that was lies about
Mm,
me.
mm,
So one day I was sitting down, and I think this person, actually, I don't know why he did that. But one day I was sitting down doing my work, and this is the kind of person, when I'm working, I don't like to surround myself with a lot of papers, and I don't want a messy desk. If my desk is messy, it makes the work becomes overwhelming.
Yeah.
So I always try to make sure that I put
Your desk is clean,
desk is clean. I keep everything in a folder
organized.
organized. So you can come to my desk and you see paper, or you see just one thing that I'm working on. Once I'm done, I file it, and then I that kind of thing. And so this person doesn't know what I'm doing. He came to my desk and he said I wasn't doing anything. So he went to my manager and then reported to my manager.
Mhm.
I didn't know. So I was sitting there and all of a sudden my manager came and said, hey, get up. Open your laptop. Let me see. Go here. Let me see what you're doing. I said, why is this woman doing this? And guess what? When she opens anything that she asks me to open, I open and it is a job done, completed. And then she looked at the person who reported me to her, and it's like, oh boy. And do you know, guess what? I had at that time, my manager had another someone
Yeah.
under the manager. And the person is like, this person went and reported you. I was there when he came to report.
Yeah, you get the gossipers.
Yeah, the gossipers,
Those who
right?
undermine people.
They undermine you. And when the manager did not find any fault with me. And I said, look, when I do my work, I don't like this organization. I don't want things to be messy on my desk.
Mm-hmm.
Now, this person, when he's working, you see this paper here, this thing there, everything is messed
For
up.
people, when it is their workstation is so
Yeah,
disorganized,
oh man.
they feel like they are productive. Like
Very
it
good.
gives the sense that you are doing multiple things.
That is how it is, right? So that is how it is, and he never completes his work. Do you know what? This is a person that his work, after we've all done our work, they share his work among everybody's own. So
Because
we
he
have to
didn't
overstay.
Oh my God. He's busybody reporting other
Other
people, and
people
while ignoring
his
work.
own work.
Yeah, that's a
You get it.
difficult co-worker.
So we have people like that who will always report you, but they themselves, they have a lot of things they have to do that they have not done.
Yeah.
You get it. So such a person how you navigate with the person is that while the person is gossiping, you just leave them and continue with your work. Because what I've come to know is that people who they say that empty barrels
Make the most
makes the
noise.
most noise. Okay, so if a person doesn't have anything to do, or they have work to do, but they don't busy themselves in what matters, they have time to do unnecessary things. That is why sometimes they can gossip and say all kinds of things that they don't have to say about you, fight you, quarrel with you, and all those kind of things. So leave them, let them exhibit their emptiness whilst you do what you are supposed to do, because they will distract you, they will let you become emotional, always you be hurt, you feel that a lot is going on in your own world. Meanwhile, nothing should have been going on with you, as they are the people that are messing your life up. So don't give them the chance.
You raise a very important point, and I think that the next point that I wanted is just a good is that you don't match their energy. If some people want to be mean to you, our natural response is to mirror what they are going through. If they are hurting you, you want to hurt. If they are angry, they upset, they want to incite you, then you also get upset. But then you have to know yourself, and you don't have to respond to their behavior. You need to understand who you are and be very grounded in who you are. Maintain your professionalism.
Yep.
Maintain your calm, because it's like there is a proverb that says that if you are in the shower, and this proverb will make sense for people who have lived in third world countries where the bathroom is outside.
It's outside.
So the bathroom is outside, and you go into the bathroom, and then you lock the door, and then you hang your towel, and then you lock the door. Now, if you are in the bathroom and then somebody comes, like a crazy person comes, doesn't open the bathroom door, but just takes your towel and goes away, or your bathrobe and runs away with it, you don't come out naked chasing them.
Yeah.
Because when you start to chase them naked, people are going to look at
Are
you and
you
be like,
mad?
are you
Are
crazy?
you crazy?
So when people want to play a mad fight with you and you look at yourself and you're like, listen, I'm not about to play this mad fight with you because I don't want to be dirty, then that's you become the stronger person.
Mm-hmm.
So don't let other people's craziness affect you.
Yep.
Right.
Yeah.
That's one thing that I
Yes.
want to do.
Yeah, that's true. You don't let anybody's craziness affect you.
Mm-hmm.
Or else you always be crying, you be in pain.
Mm-hmm.
One of the things is that people develop different character that they never had because of people.
Mm.
So if you allow someone to actually move you to do what you shouldn't do at workplace, you always become something else.
Mm.
Because I remember there's this person that people were kind of worrying her at the workplace,
Mm-hmm.
and she became so emotional that
Her blood
her
pressure.
blood pressure went so high that
Oh.
now she had to be on medication,
Oh.
because always she went through a lot of emotional hurt,
Mm. Mm.
right? So sometimes
Mm.
if you don't regulate some things,
Mm-hmm.
you'll be in that position where you're always hurt,
Mm-hmm.
and you will not be able to even focus to what you have to do.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
But I think that raises another point. There is like the issue of people with different personalities. Okay, and you're just dealing with different personality. And then there's the issue of abuse. Like some people can literally abuse you
Mhm.
at the workplace. And I think that those things, those kind of behavior where you are being abused to the point where your blood pressure is going up, like it becomes a very toxic environment. I think you need to sound the alarm. Either
Oh
you're
yeah.
going to the HR,
Or the
or
manager.
oh yeah, you're going to the manager, or you are looking for another job, or like you're changing department,
Mhm.
because you need to guard your heart, you need to guard your mind. And so don't let anybody steal your peace. The world is big. Oftentimes, sometimes we forget that when you stay in a certain environment for so long, if you're not careful, you might think that that's the only
That's all you
place
have.
that you have to be. And if you're staying there, you're getting abused emotionally every day. Someone is talking down at you. If you're not careful, it's going to affect you. It's going to affect even the way you go home, right? You come to work and then everybody is putting trash on your desk, like everybody is putting trash on you. You go home and you're depressed, so you go and give your depressed self to your spouse and your children and the people that matter most to you. So if it's an abusive, toxic work environment, it's very important for you to do something about it. Raise the alarm, move, change department, if possible find a new job.
Mhm.
Do not let anybody steal your peace. I mean, life is too short to stay at one place and be troubled.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that is very true. That's very true. So we shouldn't let anybody worry us so much.
Mhm.
Yeah. There are a lot of things that we can talk about as well.
Do you have any scripture to solidify
Yeah.
some of this?
So I just want to, in if you read Colossians chapter 3, so the reason why, um, so let me start from, it says that
Where are you
verse
reading
22,
from?
Colossians chapter 3. I'm starting from verse 22 says that bond servant, obey in all things your master. Sorry, bond servants, obey in all things your master according to the flesh, not which not with eye service as men pleasers, but in sincerity of heart, fearing God. And whatever you do, do it heartedly, as to the Lord and not to men. As to the Lord and not to men. Knowing that the Lord knowing that from the Lord you will receive the reward of the inheritance, for you serve the Lord, the Lord Christ. But he who does wrong will be repaid for what he has done, and there is no partiality. So this is talking about like the duty of a servant, or like it can be related to work. When we go to work for our employers, right? And then we work with our co-workers, fellow employees. Now, everything that we do it to the glory of God. Okay. Everything we don't do it as men pleasers. Now, or not with eye service. So eye service, men pleasers, and people who are pleasers of men, actually, all they want to do is that they want to do things to please people, to please men, to please the people that they work with. Now, such people can get into trouble. If people are working because they want to please somebody, then they will always put you into trouble. The reason why I'm saying they will always put you into trouble is that they have to destroy you to make someone good.
Yep.
Right? They have to destroy you to let them feel good. Now, if you have such people, that is what sometimes causes people to fight or become bad people at work, where they are doing just eye service, men pleasers. So they have to cut somebody, they have to cut throats, they have to do all kinds of things just to rise up. And what ends up happening is that they have to destroy you to become great. They have to say something bad about you to become who they want to be. So eye service people and people who actually are men pleasers will always put you into trouble at work. Now, someone who comes to work and he does things according as God wants them to do it, do you know what they do? They will always be with you. They'll be there with you. They'll be there to help. They'll be there to, that kind of, when you're working with them, you see that they fear God. They don't fear man. They fear God. So because they fear God, they will treat you well. Do you get it? They'll treat you well. So people who are men pleasers and all these kind of people, they will always put you into trouble at work. Yeah. Because they don't see, they are always, that's why they'll compete with you always, right? That's why they'll compete with you always. And everything that they do. They say bad things about you. They don't care about your feelings. They don't care about your emotions. They don't care about anything like that because they don't fear God. You understand it? There's a difference between going to church and there's a difference between fearing God.
Yeah.
Okay, if you go to church, you should fear God. If you believe in Jesus Christ, if you fear God.
Yes.
If you fear God and the fear of the Lord is in you, then you have wisdom. And wisdom says that you should treat your brother, your sister as yourself. So if you go to your work, you have to treat your brother or your sister as you want to be treated. Right? As you want to be treated. And so that anytime you see things like that, we ourselves, when we go to work, we have to make sure that we are serving, or we are working to please God. We don't serve God only when you're in church. When you go to your workplace, you do the things you do because your heavenly Father is watching you.
Oh, wow.
Okay, your heavenly Father is watching you. And then also the person who is looking down on you, and that person who doesn't really like you and is fighting with you, gossiping about you, saying bad things about you, reporting you, always trying to put you into trouble, that person too, the heavenly Father is looking
Watching
at
them.
that person too. So don't let their action make you stop doing the right thing. Because God is watching at you and God is watching at them.
Yes.
You get it? God is watching at everybody. At the end of the day, everybody's work will come to light.
Yes, come on now.
So whether we are at work or we are at church or we are at home, wherever we are serving, wherever we are doing anything, see the people serve according as the Lord has done. He says that whatever you do, Colossians chapter 3, verse 23, whatever you do, do it heartedly as to the Lord and not to
Man.
men.
Mm.
And this scripture is one of the scriptures that we use to quote myself and one of my colleagues, especially that person. That person was going through a lot. My goodness. And that person said that, everything that I do it unto God, not unto men.
Wow.
And this person, I'm not going to mention name, but this person went through a lot.
Yeah.
Okay, he went through a lot. And what happened was that, she resorted to saying that I come to work and I spend 8 hours at work. The rest is for me to spend at home. I'll make sure that I do the right things. And this person was so hardworking, so much that even the people that she worked with, some of them, I remember a comment was made about her that she was hardworking, and someone just said that, you don't know, this person is not hardworking, he's lazy. When the person had been, we all know how hardworking the person was.
See, some people
But
are
the
very
person
weird.
he
They
just stood.
always have to undermine someone.
Yeah, but do you know
That's
what
sad.
happened? This person did not look at what they were doing. She did not look at what all the people were doing. The person started to go to school again. She furthered her education, went to get her master's, went to get other certifications and other things. Guess what? Now she's a manager over the people.
Look at that. That makes so much. That's a beautiful story to share.
So the thing is that don't let the people stop you. This person could have said, okay, well, I quit, and then she would have run away and quit.
Oh, so sometimes some situations when you say, "Oh, I quit," maybe you are supposed to stay there and then it's holding your card and grow.
Yeah, this person now has gotten her master's, gotten another degree, is now been given a managerial position.
Wow. But she could have quit. I think also that, as we are having this conversation, we also have to remember that we live in a fallen world. And the enemy can incite anybody to be a thorn in your flesh.
Of course.
Wherever you are. And so the very place that God has put you there to shine, you might meet someone there who will dote on you and just try to terrorize you. And maybe you know that in this season, God wants you to be working at this place.
Yeah.
And so the thing is that if God has put you there and the situation is unfavorable, you need to find a way to thrive there.
Yeah.
And sometimes we quit too quickly. Sometimes we just give up too quickly. You know what? My coworker is a gossiper. This person is a micromanager. This person is getting on my nerves. That person is doing this. I quit. And maybe you quit before your breakthrough comes, and your breakthrough is like right there. And so thank you for sharing that story about that person, because if that lady had quitted from that position, she probably would not have experienced all the things that she experienced. So if you are listening to us and you are at a toxic work environment, we've talked about in certain toxic situations, you really need to leave. Like if there's abuse, you really need to leave. But in certain environment, there's like immense stress. But the more you pray about it, the more you realize that no, God really wants you to be there. Then you need to ask God for the strength and the grace to thrive in that environment, because if God has allowed you to be there and if God is not releasing you to go, then there is something that He wants to do over there. And if you quit too quickly, you will miss it. You will miss it.
That's true.
Oh wow, that's
yeah. People can really cause you to, like, look at Daniel. If you look at the story of Daniel, among all the satraps, so yeah, there were 122 satraps, and then they had the top three, which Daniel was. Daniel was one of the top threes, and so Daniel became so great that the people now they hated Daniel. We are talking about job place issues.
Talk about it. It has existed since the Bible
of course,
time.
of course. And Daniel actually did not let this thing get get into him.
Mm.
They told him that, you know what? They went and told the king that, king, nobody has to pray. You have to mind you that when the king was signing this thing, he asked himself, where was Daniel? Because among the top three, Daniel was even among them, and he was the leader. So how did the king make such a decision without Daniel?
Mm.
But the Bible says that when Daniel got to know that the king had made that decision, like signed the signet and everything, he went and opened the windows and prayed, even for people to see. Okay.
Mm.
Daniel did not say that, okay, well, I'm just going to get away from this position because all these people, they don't like me and whatnot. Daniel did not do that. We didn't see Daniel fasting, insulting anybody or fighting anybody. No, Daniel prayed. And when Daniel prayed, guess what? They succeeded to put Daniel in the den, lion's den.
Mm-hmm.
And guess what happened? When they put him in the den, the lion, God shut the mouth of the lion, and God gave Daniel victory.
Wow.
When God gave Daniel victory, the people who actually gossiped about him and tried to make sure that they kill him, ended up being put in the lion's den. So sometimes when someone at the workplace rise up against you, don't take some battles. They are not yours to fight.
Come on now.
They are God's own to fight. Okay, you are the apple of God's eyes. And so whoever fights you fights against God. And if anybody fights against God, they will lose. So nobody can fight God and win the battle. You get it? Nobody can fight God and win the battle. So Daniel actually did not fight that fight. He let God fight for him. And at the end of the day, what happened was that Daniel was not killed by the lion. The lions actually ate his enemies. And that is how it's supposed to be. Yeah. Sometimes we don't have to fight unnecessary battles, but we have to leave the battles for the Lord. So there are battles at workplaces. That is true. Sometimes you are due for a promotion, and then you've been doing everything that you have to do, and the numbers is telling everything that you are due for this promotion. You've talked to your managers about it. The numbers, everything is adding up. They see the productivity, they see the numbers, they see everything. But there's this person who don't want to is paying a deaf ear to it and doesn't want to listen to whatever you are doing. If you don't take care, you stop being a productive employee. Okay, so don't let anybody influence you to change, because if they do that, you can become an unproductive employee. Okay, unproductive employee. You destroy your record, your reputation will be destroyed. You may fight a battle you don't have to fight. So, sometimes when you are due something and you are still not getting it, keep doing the good things, keep doing the right things, keep building yourself, keep advancing yourself, keep educating yourself, keep being the good the good employee, because it's a matter of time and God is going to raise you up. Because sometimes the one who is in the way can be taken out of the way. Okay, can be taken out of the way. Yes. And then God will give you that kind of, you shine.
Yes. I like that. That's so good. I think that's a good place to end. But what you have said is that sometimes, growth sometimes some growth comes with growth pains. Growth does not always come when all your problems have disappeared. Sometimes in the midst of that situation, God wants you to grow. You learn how to navigate around difficult people with wisdom. You learn how to respond and not react. You are going to learn there are certain things that you can only learn given that condition.
Yes.
Like if you are at a place where everybody likes you and everybody is good, yeah, it's good. It feels good. There's some growth that can happen. And then there's a whole different kind of growth that would happen when you are going through that fire to be refined. And sometimes you just you that's one of the best ways to actually learn.
Yeah.
And I like the example of Daniel. And look what God used Daniel to
Yeah.
do. He used Daniel to change a whole nation. You know, the idols. And Daniel was working under a very toxic work environment. Like it
Yeah.
was really bad. You know, to the point where people wanted him to be killed. Today he's thrown in the lion's den. Tomorrow it's all kinds of things. Shadrach, Meshach, Abednego. Tomorrow
Yeah.
they are thrown in the furnace because their co-workers, all their co-workers are
people
jealous
around
of them.
them.
And yet God is able to showcase these people and their story in the midst of the persecution that they are facing.
Yep.
So friend,
And also just Daniel's story. Daniel's story, you know that the king now made a decree that the God of Daniel should be the God that we all have to, the people have to serve. Right. So, you know, when there are some things that you may think that okay, it is going against you, but it's going to be for you.
I think you need to repeat that. Somebody needs to hear that. Somebody
There are
needs
some
to hear
things that you may think that it is the devil is using it against you, but it will well be that God is going to use it for you.
For your good.
For your good. Even look at Potiphar's wife and Joseph. Joseph was working with Potiphar.
Come on.
Okay. When we talk about work,
Come on.
Joseph was working at Potiphar's house. And then Potiphar's wife had just decided to set her eye on Joseph. Lied against Joseph, who was working with her husband, who is Joseph's master, Potiphar. Lied against Joseph, put Joseph in prison, thinking that she's done with Joseph. But God exalted Joseph. That Joseph became second in command in Egypt. So Joseph became greater than Potiphar and Potiphar's wife. Okay. Joseph became greater than Potiphar and Potiphar's wife. He
became greater than his master.
His master. He became greater than his master. So if God says that he will set a table before you in the presence of your enemies, believe it. So there are some things that when you are in some environment or some workplace where you know you are doing everything right, keep doing the right things. If you have to change jobs, fine, you can change. If you are not changing, then do everything possible to build yourself up, because the right time is coming where God is going to elevate you. Because it's a matter of time, and God will elevate you. God will change your story. God will set you on high at a place where every eye will see how good God is to you. So we should not let the workplace difficulties, those things are real, because there are people who go to work and they come and they are always crying. You know, sometimes you become a talker. You're always talking. I mean, every day complaining, talking, nagging, and it takes a lot of energy from us. It prevents us from being the real person God has made us to be. So we should not let any of these bad attitude at workplace change our character. Okay, and then the next thing I will say that if we ourselves we are doing some things that are not right too, we should try and do the right things.
Yes.
Because sometimes people also don't do the right things.
Yeah.
So if you don't,
all the complaints that your coworkers are complaining, you know it's true.
It may be
because
true.
Maybe you are lazy, you are procrastinating. Yep. So sometimes, yes, look at you might be like, oh, these people are so hard to work with, but look at your own work ethics. look, your own work ethics, you're always late, you're always procrastinating and all of that. It's hard for other people to work with
Yes.
you, but you're pointing the finger
Yeah.
that way, but
Yeah.
maybe there is some work that needs to be
Yes.
done on your
Yes.
side.
Yes.
Well, thank you so much for sharing, and
You're
I
welcome.
think that we have enjoyed a lot. It's so interesting. We came to talk about difficult co-workers, but I like the way we're able to even see in scriptures many people had difficult co-workers. Daniel had difficult co-workers. Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego had difficult co-workers. Joseph was put in a difficult work situation where he's minding his own business, wanting to do things right, and then there's a woman there who is trying to,
Yeah.
and then eventually lied. It was falsely accused. But all of that, God's providence hands was at work, because God had to make that situation so unfavorable so that Joseph would be moved from there closer to his destiny. Because if he had thrived, he was successful in Potiphar's house. He became master over all the other servants there, so he was doing well there. But maybe God, even if God hadn't changed that situation, what the enemy meant for evil, God twisted that situation. If God hadn't made that situation unfavorable, Joseph would have only been a master in Potiphar's house, that's all. But God knew that he was pushing him out of that place so that he can become second in command to Pharaoh. So, friend,
And sometimes the unfavorable conditions is just a stir
come on.
to make us grow.
Ah,
It's just a stir to make us all
I
grow,
love it.
because sometimes we can be okay at where we are, and God is like, it's not okay to be here.
Get out of this place.
It's not okay to be here. It's time to move. It's time to learn. It's time to better yourself. It's time to advance. And we are okay, because sometimes human beings, we want to be at one place. So sometimes God will be stirring some things. So that person who doesn't like you, they are trying to put you into trouble. Make sure that you are advancing yourself, building good character, educating yourself, doing all the things that you have to do, so that you will not remain in that situation forever, because God is about to do something astronomical in your life.
And when you're doing that with integrity, even when you leave, people will know the kind of person
Yep,
that you are.
yep.
Like when you leave, people will be like, this lady was different. This one was different.
Yep.
They will know it.
Your light will shine.
Your light will shine.
Yeah.
That was good. Is there anything that I think we've covered everything. We have covered everything. So you heard it. To summarize it up, we've talked about how to navigate working with the difficult co-workers, and we've touched on so many things. We've said that sometimes it's important to look at yourself. Maybe there's something that you're doing wrong that you shouldn't be doing wrong. Maybe you should be you should be focused. Maybe there is something you yourself you are doing wrong: procrastination, laziness, and all of those things. But if you're not doing any of those things and you're doing your work right, and somebody has decided to micromanage you, to be competitive, to minimize your work, to dim your light, and all of those things, and you pray about it and God still wants you in that work environment, then find a way to thrive. Like if it's a situation that you did not cause, but God has you there, and God is like, I still want you to stay at this workplace, find a way to thrive. If it is an abusive environment, you need to protect your own mental health. Sometimes you need to leave. Sometimes if you have to report it, you got to report it, because otherwise it can take a toll on your life. But ultimately, we have seen in scriptures that many examples where people were able to blossom out of unfavorable condition. And we've talked about the example of Daniel living in Babylon, working with other people who were jealous of him. Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego, their co-workers went to give a false report about them just so they can get in trouble. We talked about Joseph, who found himself in Potiphar's house and was falsely accused. Ultimately, with all of these three different examples, they were able to be elevated and be glorified. So whatever it is that you find yourself, if you have a difficult person, a difficult co-worker that you're working with, I pray that the Lord gives you the grace. And also, even the serenity prayer, God, Give me the grace to change the things that I need to change about myself. And then give me the wisdom to know the things that I cannot change. For example, you cannot change other people's character. You cannot change other people's action. This is them. You have to know what you can change, which is the things that are within your control. And you have to pray for the wisdom to know the difference between the things that are within your control and the things that are not within your control. So I hope that you are blessed. If you have enjoyed this, be sure to subscribe to our channel. We come your way every Wednesday evening, and we talk about all kinds of questions, practical, real talk conversation. I hope you stay blessed. Have a good evening. Bye.
Bye.
That was good.